This is the Pound for Pound Boxing Show in association with Dirty South. I'm Jermaine. I'm here with Joe Gallagher, and I'm here with Callum Johnson. How you doing, guys?
Yes, I'm
Good.
Thanks for guys coming on. It's actually appreciated. I want to get to it. Joe, I want to ask you, obviously, a big fight coming up this weekend for Callum's return after 2 years. But I want to ask you, obviously, a lot of people have been saying this is a big fight for him in terms of coming off a layoff of 2 years not fighting, and potentially could set him up for big fights with the likes of obviously Joshua, Buatsi, and Anthony Yard. How pleased are you? How pleased are you first for Joe to be Callum to make any return?
Yeah, hugely excited. I think Callum and everyone in the gym would vouch for that. The last few days, it's good to be back and good to have Callum Johnson back fighting. Yeah, like you say, for where he is in the stage of his career, we wanted to come straight back into a fight, and that's what we've got on Saturday. 32 and 2, the kid, 24 knockouts, and we're going straight in for a title, a Jamaican Championship weight, and like I say, get the win. Look good doing it, get a ranking, and like I say, we're looking to get a shot at the world title. You mentioned Josh Buatsi there. Listen, there was many a time for that fight to be made, Josh Buatsi and Callum Johnson, and it never made. We had no interest in making it. So hence that's why now we're going forward. So obviously it's a Saturday night now. Callum Johnson back in the ring. Fingers crossed we get the job done. Look well getting it, and hopefully we'll get the Joe Smith fight. That's fight we're after, and we've got to win well on Saturday and put ourselves in fight for it.
Brilliant. Callum, I want to ask you. Obviously, you signed now with Frank Warren. You was formerly with Matchroom Boxing. Do you think signing with Frank is going to give you big opportunities in terms of fighting for world titles?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as Joe said there, we're after that Joe Smith fight. That's the fight we want. And as you said, I was with Matt. I never really was with Matchroom. It was just like, I fought on Matchroom shows. I never really was promoted by them or signed with them. So, but I think, the stage of my career now where we're at, I think signing with Frank, we've signed a good deal, and it was the right thing to do. And I'm looking forward to, the next months and few years ahead.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm me as a fan. I can't wait for you to be back. Obviously, I've been watching you for a long time, like from amateur days, and I'm really looking forward to this fight and seeing you back out there again.
Man, nice one, man. I appreciate that.
I want to ask you, obviously, let's talk a bit about your opponent. As Joe just mentioned, 32 and 2, good record, good knockout ratio. Have you seen much of him? Have you seen much of his fights?
I've watched bits on YouTube of him with Joe. They say the record speaks for itself. 24 knockouts. To knock 24 of your 32 wins out, you've got to be able to punch a bit. So we know we're in there with an opponent who can and let shots go, and we're prepared for that, and we've got to be switched on. And yeah, okay, I know I'm the favourite to win the fight, and everyone's expecting me to win the fight, and I'm expecting to win the fight. But I do know that I've got to be switched on, got to stay focused, and do what we've worked on in the gym.
Yeah, you're not taking an easier option when you return, coming back to fight a tough opponent. So I commend you on that. Obviously, coming back in and not fighting someone probably a bit more easier. So I commend you guys for taking this fight.
It's one of them, innit? We could have come back, or I don't know if we could have come back, but it was never really an option that we wanted anyway. But we could have come back in a 6-rounder or an 8-rounder or whatever. But we haven't got time for that. I've been around the block a few times. I'm an experienced kid. I've had a lot of inactivity, but I'm an experienced fighter. I'm an experienced man, and it was. I feel as though it was just going to be a waste of time to come back in the 6-8 rounder. It's not what I want to be doing, and that isn't my ambitions. So.
Brilliant. Joe, obviously it's a busy month for you coming up now. From obviously in May as well. With Natasha Jonas fighting for world titles. You've got Marcus Morrison as well fighting Chris Eubank Jr. How good are they looking in training?
Yeah, very good. Listen, Natasha Jonas, fully focused. Obviously, she's fighting at lightweight. She's she's in a really good place, Natasha. So's Marcus Morrison. All three of them. It's been a really good, enjoyable camp. This having all three of them working together. Obviously, Callum Johnson back out again. Natasha Jonas, Marcus Morrison. All three have pushed each other, and they're all in unbelievable shape. What they've done a lot, they're all beating the PBs in training, the punch output, the weights, the speed, the track times. They're just great. They've just been pushing each other on, and Natasha Jonas is in great shape for next week, her mindset. And I said to her today before we came down after sparring, Natasha Jonas at Fort Terry Harper would get stopped by this version of Natasha Jonas now. She's just improving and improving all the time. And no pressure on either of them. None of them are expected to win. And they're just got to go in there. Tasha's been here before Terry Harper, and they've just got to go in there, and they've just got to let their performance do the talking.
You mentioned about stoppage. Do you believe this? Obviously, he was hard done by the last time against Terry Harper. Do you believe Natasha has to get the stoppage this time to win this fight?
I say that because I feel when you look at what's happened over recently, obviously Katie Taylor got the decision in New York. Some would argue she must have lost again in the Garden, or it was a draw, or whatever. And then you look at Natasha Jonas. Everyone in the world seen Natasha Jonas become world champion, apart from two people, the trainer and a judge. So we can't allow it for the scorecards, and people say it won't go the distance, but you've still got to do your job. And we want the best officials on the night. We want the best referee on the night, and we want people who are working on radio and television to talk about what's going on in the ring and what shots are thrown, not backdrop stories. And just, I think this fight, less said is more. Just sit back, get your popcorn, and just watch actions speak louder than words. And that's what we've got to be with Natasha and Katie.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of boxer fans would be having a popcorn, no doubt about it. It's a terrific fight and it's a terrific card. I want to touch a bit about Marcus Morrison, obviously fighting Chris Eubank Jr. No one saw this fight coming up, but no one thought it would be happening. Obviously, how good is Marcus looking? Can you really see him getting a shock win here against Chris Eubank Jr.?
Listen, Marcus is prepared to the best of his ability. Everybody knows we've had plenty of people in the gymnasium over the years who've sparred Marcus Morrison. There's lots of people in that gymnasium that have left after being flattened. Marcus Morrison can punch. And we're going into the fight. There is no pressure on Marcus. He's got to go in there. He's trained the best that he can be. He's in great shape. And we've got to go in there. If an opportunity presents itself, well, Marcus Morrison is a man that'll be able to take it. But like I say, it's all in Chris Eubank. He's coming back to Manchester. Last time he fought there, I think he got beat by George Groves. He's got Roy Jones with him now. He's looking to try and impress and show everyone what to do. So the pressure's all in Chris Eubank Jr. He's expected to walk through Marcus Morrison, from what I read, within a round or two. So Mr. Marcus has got to go, but he's trained very hard. He's got huge belief, as we all have in the gym. And he's a very live underdog.
Yeah, the fight potentially anything could happen in that fight. Obviously, Marcus is looking good in training. I've seen the clips of him, and it's a fight that Eubank Jr.'s been out for the ring for a long time. So ring rust might play with dividends in this fight.
Yeah, listen, Eubank Jr. is performed at a higher level than Marcus. He had a great fight with George Groves. We've got huge respect for him. We've had him in our gym. We've seen him train before. He's been in our gym sparring before. So we all know about Chris, you know what I mean, and Marcus. So listen, it's a good fight. It is what it is. It's a huge opportunity for Marcus Morrison. I don't think no middleweight in the country would have turned it down if the phone call went. And it's a great opportunity for Marcus. And like I say, if Chris Eubank Jr. hasn't trained as hard for Marcus as he might do, then he could come unstuck. But I don't see that in Eubank Jr. I think he's a phenomenal trainer.
Yeah. Callum, I want to talk about, obviously, you got a fantastic stable. You're in the likes of, obviously, like you just mentioned, Callum Smith in there. You got Paul Butler. You got Marcus in there. You got Natasha Jonas. And obviously Anthony Crawler, former world champion in around the camp. How inspired is it for you to be around these world champions? And how much does that give you in terms of a push to go on and maybe become world champion yourself?
It's brilliant. It always has been, though. You know, I've been around, like you say, Crawler for a few years. Scott Quigg, you know, trained with the Smith brothers. Natasha now, Marcus. You know, we all kind of push each other. And as Joe was saying before, then this has been a really good camp. You know, me, Tasha, Marcus, we've all trained pretty much together. We've all trained well, and we've all pushed each other on. And it's been a happy camp. It's been a hard camp, but you know, it has been, like Joe said, really enjoyable. And I think hopefully it'll pull out the best of us in our performances.
Yeah, I'm sure, no doubt. Obviously, having each other spurring each other on, you're going to get the best out of each other going into some fantastic fights. So yeah, that's 100%. That's good. I agree with that. I want to ask you, Joe. Obviously, is there any news on Paul Butler's next fight?
There should be some news soon. They're working on him fighting in June, back end of June. So him and Hosea Burton, they'll be out next after this, sometime in June. So I'm just waiting to hear from confirmation from the people involved. But Paul Butler will be out in June.
Yeah, you mentioned Hosea Burton. I believe that's for final eliminator for. Is it for the British title? Is that correct?
Yeah, for the British title, final eliminator for Hosea against Liam Conroy. Good fight. Both fighters were in the MTK Golden Contract. Both know each other well. Huge respect between both fighters. Come through the amateurs together, and that's got to make for a good fight.
Yeah, it's another fight I'm looking forward to, and obviously final eliminator, so they're going to be pushing closer to also another title there. I want to ask you, Joe. Obviously, any news on Liam Smith? Obviously, I heard that he's obviously in Russia preparing to fight soon. Will you be working with him anytime soon?
No, listen, it's well documented there. Liam went to America to have a training and workout and everything else, and that's it. He's fighting in Russia. Wish him all the best. A great 10 good years with Liam Smith. Not got a bad word to say against him. He's a good kid. He's got a tough fight. And the way things work, obviously we're here this week and then we're in Manchester the week after. Logistically wise, didn't really work out well. So I wish Liam all the best over in Russia. And hopefully goes off. He's in a tough fight. But Liam, that's when you see the best of Liam when the back's against the wall. So I respect Liam Smith. He's been brought over there, as you can see, as an opponent for the up-and-coming prospect. But Liam Smith will be snarling and they're firing on all cylinders over there in Russia, and I expect him to get the win.
Yeah. Callum, I'm going to ask you, obviously, you've got another world title fight coming up soon between Bivol and Craig Richards. Will you be keeping an eye on that fight? Maybe one day potentially going on to fight the winner?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on it. Whether I watch it or not, I'm not sure, but I'd imagine I will because it's on the same show as Tasha. But I mean, I wish Craig Richards all the best. You know, it's always good a British fighter winning a world title, and especially in my weight. I don't think he'll win, though, if I'm honest. You know, I've got to be honest. I don't think he'll win. But what can I say? I wish him all the best in his quest.
Thank you. Obviously, I want to ask you, Joe, a bit more about, obviously, there's talks of Callum Smith going up to a light heavyweight. Would he be fighting against anytime soon this year? Or would it be a light heavyweight?
Yeah, since his last fight, I've just had a few text messages back and forth with him. But yeah, the main thing for Callum Smith, I was after that Canelo fight, was to have a break. It was a mentally draining year last year. Obviously, we had COVID, but then to be training in that situation, then dangled the carrot for Canelo for May, didn't get it. Billy Joe got it. Then staying in the gym then in case anything happened in September in the garden, that didn't happen. And then obviously then the Canelo carrot was dangled again in December. So it was a long year. It was a frustrating year, and it was a mentally draining year. So I've wanted Callum to stay out of boxing for a while, be out of the gym, enjoy family, enjoy playing golf. He's back playing golf, and when he's ready to come back to boxing, or if he's going to box again, or if he retires, whatever those, I'll back him in whatever he chooses to do. So the main thing is for him just to, when he wants to come back, just to come back mentally fresh. And he has said that he will box at 175 and move up. So it's just if and when Callum decides to come back, if he does come back. So I'll hear from them. But the main thing is I don't want to be thinking about boxing. I want him to be mentally switched off for a while and get recharged, get the batteries recharged.
100%. I'm looking forward to his return either way. I'm a big fan of his as well, and I'm sure everyone, the whole nation's waiting for him to make his return.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, obviously, a question I would like to ask you is, what was I saying now? Yeah, Callum, obviously, have you got a message for your fans? Obviously, who's going to be tuning in on Saturday night to watch you?
Yeah, just enjoy the show, you know, and as always, you know, I'll be letting bombs go and I'll be trying to take the kids' head off. So enjoy it.
I can't wait, honestly. Like I said, it's been a long time for you to make your return on. I'm sure it's going to be worth the wait.
Time coming. I can't sing. I sing if I could
It was a great promo video that Queensbury Frank Warren did. It was a long time coming. Yeah, so it's the one. The one is back. The number one light heavyweight in the country is back this Saturday night, and a statement will be made.
Don't blink.
Brilliant. Oh, sure, we won't. 100%. Guys, I want to ask you obviously two more questions before I let you go. It's a massive fight was on the horizon between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Hopefully, it gets made. I want to ask you two on who wins and why.
Tyson Fury. My opinion, I think he's too good. He's too good. He's just he out of our stable, all the fighters out of our gym. You know, he's actually my favourite fighter at the minute. I just think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting fight. I'd love to have seen the fight behind closed doors. I think a fight between the two of them behind closed doors and no crowd is a different fight with the two of them in front of a big crowd. I think it'd be really interesting. Joshua is used to fighting big crowds. Tyson Fury is now. That'd be an interesting fight. But then to take that away from them and it'd be like a sparring session, but a fight, closed doors, no crowd, I think it'd be a different fight again. And that's the fight I would like to have seen. But I think Tyson Fury, for me, like with Callum, I think Tyson Fury is the favourite for me at the moment. Both fighters have been down in the careers. Both got up. It's an interesting fight. I think maybe might be hanging on to that Tyson hasn't fought for time it comes around 18 months, but they say I fought for a long time beforehand and look what it did and came back undone. Do you know what I mean? And listen, each fighter knows what the other's capable of doing. I think they've sparred in the past. I just think it's a very good fight, a really good fight. It's a shame it's not in England, from what I'm hearing. It's a real shame. I wish it would have been at Old Trafford. Tyson Fury, I understood, really wanted it to be at Old Trafford. 80,000 there would have been great. And between two British fighters, when you look back at the eras of Holyfield and Tyson in America, best to understand it. So we've got the world heavyweight champions there. Why can't the two of them fight in England and fight at Old Trafford or at Wembley? I understand there's people with bigger pockets and bigger money, but we're on about the world heavyweight title of the world here. And I know Ali and Foreman went to Zanir and Frazier and Ali went to Manila. But it would just be nice to have seen the two of them have fought. Because you can imagine the atmosphere and the friends that would have been whipped up here fight week between Tyson and his Batman outfit, whatever he's got to come to the ring, and AJ and the trash talking. That's just got to be pay-per-view alone, the build-up to this, isn't it? So it's... at the moment, I can just see Tyson Fury winning this at the moment.
Well, hopefully, the second fight we can get in the UK. Hopefully, maybe it does happen next year. Hopefully, we're out of
two fights. Got to be two fights. Why? All the great fighters didn't have two fights. Ali fought Foreman, won a rematch. Ali fought Frazier 2 or 3 times. Just fight. And whatever it'll be. So if Tyson Fury knocks AJ out in 4 rounds, why does there need to be a rematch? That's conclusive. Do you understand? Why? I don't understand. Just have the one fight, winner wins, and if it's a good fight, a close fight, and the public demand it, then have a second fight. So it's just a shame, really. But anyway, the main thing is we're getting the fight. Let's see what happens with the first fight before we talk about the second fight.
Yeah. And Joe, before I let you guys go, I want to ask you a bit about your Joe Gallagher Academy.
Yeah, the academy's doing very well. They're all back in now this week. After lockdown, COVID, they're all back in and the training, and they're doing their education in the afternoon. It's going very well. The recruitment's gone well again this year. We had full numbers last year, which was a difficult period to have open evenings and recruit children, young adults, in a lockdown situation. So to do it on open Zoom evenings and everything else and recruit them, we hit all our numbers, and we've done that again this year now for the intake in September. So I'm very proud of them all, and for the way that they've stayed disciplined and the way they've participated in the lessons and in the boxing lessons and in the education program online during COVID. I'm very proud of them, and been very tough times, but they're all happy and they're back in it and glad doing what they want to, and amateur boxing's back as well.
Brilliant. I mean, I can't wait to see what lies ahead for you and your academy. So
yeah, we've got some really good we've got some excellent talent that we've got kids that are travelling from Leeds every day on the train. We've got around 5-6 national champions. I think 2 or 3 of them are girls, the national champions. They come from Liverpool, they come down from Kendal, Cumbria, Leeds, Boston, Lincolnshire. So it's fantastic, the commitment that people relocated from Lincolnshire to Manchester. That's said to people coming on the train from Leeds, Yorkshire every day, Liverpool. It's 4 days a week. That's a phenomenal commitment.
Brilliant, brilliant. Guys, I want to thank you again for taking the time to talk to me, and I wish you nothing but the best on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to tuning in.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks for having us on.
Cheers. Thanks.
Take care now, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.